I got to the ripe age of 35 before I'd ever got this chance to try Fender Deluxe Reverb. Now this is just a Fender Deluxe Reverb reissue 1965. I think the new price for them is something like £1,600, 14 to 16, which to me, before I'd played one, I thought was kind of expensive for what you're getting. You know, it's kind of 2 channels, but you're not switching between the 2. It's very much a pedal platform.
This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
Now you will have seen videos saying that this is like the best amp ever. You know, That Pedal Show did it recently. But there's a whole bunch of people that I'm going to assume would have not tried a Fender Deluxe Reverb reissue, but might have tried even expensive stuff like 2-Rock or Cherrytone amps or whatever, but have gone down this whole road of boutique stuff or Mesa Boogie stuff like me and skipped this altogether. And I think there's a whole bunch of people for whom I think the Deluxe Reverb will be entirely underrated. The reason that I started making this video was because I was putting some cable ties on my pedal board because I got a gig on Friday with Jake Loosemore at the Firehouse in Exeter, and I wanted to just check that the pedal board was working. I thought, right, what am I going to plug it into? And I've got this amp in the house, and I thought, well, let's do that. Of course, you've seen over the last few days, I've been sort of on this 2-Rock hype train, and I think one of the things that you guys probably in the comments have been lamenting is the price of that kind of amplifier, and I'm totally with you in that I find myself, I grew up without much money on a farm in Devon. To me, I'm still very much stuck in this phase of like looking for bargains, trying to find the value for money and stuff. And for me, when this came up nearby, Jake found it. A guy was selling it in Weymouth for £850. It's in really nice condition. So bought it. And yeah, the thing is, I've not really had a clean channel on an amp that does as much for me as this thing does. So this is just... And I'm not sure if it comes across, but it's just such a bouncy, lively, classic clean tone. And it's just like right where you want it. You know, you can turn the bass up a bit and get a bit more bass. All I'm doing here, I've got the volume on like 2, 2.5. The treble is on 5, the bass is on like 8. The amp is started to develop some noise, so that's great. And this is the annoying thing for me about these Fender amps, is that I've got a Fender Pro Reverb from 1965, and that's been quite noisy as well. I'm told that these things are easy to work on and reliable, that's why techs like them, but maybe techs like them because they need to be worked on all the time, because that seems to be my experience with them. Annoyingly, but they do sound amazing. I think they're biased way hotter than like a Mesa Boogie, which is to me maybe why the clean tone is so much more maybe classic and kind of lively. Okay, and like with that Turok that I was playing the other day of Chris's, I think a lot of us at home and even gigging are using these things as pedal platforms, and I don't think you can really beat the Deluxe Reverb for that. It's a non-master volume amp, so it's kind of all just one thing, but the normal channel is just beautiful for... So that's a Boss Blues driver, like nothing crazy. Okay, if I go into Marshall Governor mode on the Boss Blues driver, you know, it's taken that drive really nicely. I've got a Carbon X here from Brown Amplification. And then I've got a 5 Watt World bus pedal here, which is David Barber and Keith from 5 Watt World. So this is doing my kind of lead tone. takes what you're giving it and just gives you it back. It's just the vibrato channel. So let's just check out some of the reverb. This is a much more glassy kind of channel, but my buddy John March did point out if you go into the second part of it, you can kind of get the amp cooking a bit more and soften things a bit. If you're looking for like a more raw, lively, you know, amp-like, tubey, glassy, all of these kind of terms, I think the Deluxe Reverb is quite a nice sort of sweet spot. It's got oodles of volume if you're going to be gigging it live, like myself and Jake Loosemore playing in bands, like 2 to 3 on a Deluxe Reverb on a normal kind of function stage is going to be plenty loud enough, to the point probably if you're getting up to 3 you're going to be asked to turn down. But at that kind of 2 to 3 you've got loads of headroom for your pedals. It's an amazing pedal platform and it's not super unaffordable, so I think this would be a candidate for me, as well as, you know, if you do turn things back down at home volumes, you're still getting quite a lively here, like on 2 on the you know, if I go into the higher input, if I go into the normal on 1, does that work nicely at home volume? So this is about speaking volume maybe. It's just like literally like tripling in volume in a tiny, tiny sweep of the volume. But actually, even, you know, where we got that very quiet volume stuff, I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I think better cleans than I ever got out of like all of the Mesa Boogies that I owned. It's just an amazing little amplifier, you know, a classic design that is endured because it is pretty great. You know, Michael Landau, Eric Johnson's rig has at some points been kind of just 2 Deluxe Reverbs. I've never played a vintage one, but I'm so impressed by just this one, except for the noise issues, which is not ideal. So, you know,